Ted Tanabe again, for what should be possibly the most exciting match, technically speaking, on the card tonight. Let's go down to our ring announcer.
And also brings back to the ring your referee for this contest from Tokyo, Mr. Ted Tanaki.
Well, Ted Tanabe, I think there's perhaps a misspelling on the ring announcer's cards there.
So quite dramatic music here. Waiting on the entrance of Masakazu Fukuda. Of course, he is currently one half of the junior heavyweight tag team champs in Wrestle Dream Factory in Japan.
That's right, Ross. Wrestle Dream Factory, of course, a fairly young group in Japanese terms, and not a particularly well-known one. They do have a great number of very, very great athletes. Masakazu Fukuda is just one of those.
They have affiliations with FMW, and they have worked alongside Michinoku Pro and a few other smaller independent promotions in Japan. But certainly, from a technical point of view, Fukuda is probably as good as they come in Japan.
And in British terms, Stevie Gray on the mat, there are a few people that can match him, Ross.
He's getting on a bit in years now. However, when it comes down to on-the-mat ability, he's certainly got it all there.
That's right, Ross. There are some wrestlers that we've seen around the world, people like Hulk Hogan, people like Randy Savage, who have deteriorated with age. But with Stevie Gray, I think his style is such that as he gets older, he just takes it down to the mat, and he's got that experience, he's got the knowledge, he knows just about every hold there is to know. And I don't think Fukuda will find this an easy ride at all.
Not at all. Fukuda, although is a very technically very sound wrestler, the Japanese style is very different to the old British style, and Stevie Gray certainly British old school.
Stevie Gray, definitely a great athlete from that British old school.
Comes from the generation of the Steve Regals, the Marty Jones, the Dave Taylors of the world.
And I think you can quite easily put Stevie Gray's name there in terms of pure talent. He maybe doesn't have the charisma that a Steve Regal has, but he's just as good a wrestler. Fukuda's there now applying a knee lock, kind of grapevining the leg.
Looks as if he's maybe going for the bow and arrow, but doesn't even get halfway there.
Stevie Gray wriggles out very quickly. It wasn't a pretty escape, it wasn't a technical escape.
But it was appreciated by the crowd. Did you notice that, Kenny?
Yes, the crowd are very interested in this. I think the crowd realizes the talent that both these men have. They know that it's not going to be an extreme battle like they might see from a Sabu or a Rob Van Dam, but they know that they will see a very sound technical match here.
Certainly. Earlier on, the crowd seemed really to be wanting to see some maybe blood and gore and hard-hitting chair shots and the like. But in this one, they're reasonably respective, no derogatory chants, and they seem to be enjoying it.
It's always nice to see fans appreciate these technically skilled guys for what they can do. Here we see Stevie Gray with a great reversal, bouncing on his head
by the crowd. Notice
and turning
that.
inside. Yes, the crowd seems to be impressed with Stevie Gray's talents so far. I think a lot of this crowd are quite young, may not remember Stevie Gray from his heyday on
World of Sport.
Oh yes, on World of Sport, joint promotions. Stevie Gray was one of the top names in that, often partnered Big Daddy.
Yes, the late Shirley Crabtree.
I don't think.
But it's Steve Gray that has remained in the sport, and Big Daddy is literally dead.
As big a star as Big Daddy was, Ross, I really don't think that there was anything he could have taught Steve Gray about the art of wrestling. Maybe about the art of shouting easy at the fans, but I don't think that Big Daddy could teach anything to Stevie Gray about the art of wrestling on the mat. As we see Fukuda here with a great headlock. Stevie Gray wriggling, trying to escape. He does seem to be working his way out here. And there he has, he's worked his way out of that terrific side headlock that Fukuda had on.
I'm sorry if I sound like a broken record player, but once again, the crowd really appreciates it. This is very unusual. On the last EWA show, there was some scientific wrestling, and the crowd just didn't respond. There was chants of boring, there was chants of we want blood, there was some very derogatory comments, but the fans are really appreciating this.
I think, Ross, that this year, with the addition of the security and the crowd barriers, I think the crowd has settled down a little more. I think at Ultra Chaos, the crowd were just a little bit wild, a little bit uncontrolled. Here, they're sitting down, they're relaxing, they're enjoying the show for what it is. They're enjoying the wrestling. After all, that's what it says on the marquee, wrestling, and that's what
right.
we're seeing
That's
right here,
completely
Ross.
correct, Kenny. Both men lock up again. Takes like a leg sweep.
Stevie Gray with a leg lock here, trying to turn Fukuda over. I'm not quite sure what he's going for here. Maybe an STF. It's hard to tell at this point.
He's locked up one of the legs.
Oh, he's locked up the other leg.
I think it is.
This looks like it might just be a surfboard, Ross.
It could be, of course, a speciality move by people such as Sean Waltman, aka 123 Kid, or Six. Also, Jushin Liger, very popular move in Japan. This.
Yes, Ross, I think Fukuda probably knows this move better than anyone else on the show tonight. It is a very, very popular move in Japan. And we see Stevie Gray here.
Gray. So, I mean, it's quite unusual that Stevie Gray is implementing a Japanese move on a Japanese
Stevie Gray has
wrestler.
now the surfboard applied. This is a submission move.
Fukuda is in agony. Just look at his face. He's in absolute agony.
This one all depends.
Both
Oh,
shoulders down.
down.
Both. 1, 2. Wow. 2 count there.
Stevie Gray there just realizing at the last second that his shoulders were down as well, and Tanabe was actually making a double count there. So he had to let Fukuda go, which is it's a shame for him. It's a tough move to apply and a tough move to hold. Really, so much strength is required in the legs to hold the wrestler up in that position.
That's completely correct, Kenny.
Steve Gray needed to get a submission early or the pin, or otherwise he was just going to have to let the move go.
Fukuda takes it back down to the mat with a sort of hammerlock arm bar once again, if I'm permitted to say that.
Goes now
Gets into a front
a
face
side
lock.
headlock.
I think it's a front face lock.
Front face lock, excuse me, Ross.
No problem. A standing front face lock there by Fukuda, but Steve Gray's hand works round, but no, Fukuda's got that hand and turns it into an arm bar. But Steve Gray comes back with a kick from the flat of the foot, which is legal, and tries to grapevine the leg. But he hasn't managed to do so, but he's turning it over.
We saw this same type
Almost
of knee bar maneuver.
a single-legged Boston Crab almost.
It is almost a half crab, yes, Ross, but now, no, he looks like he might be going for the surfboard again. Now, this is unusual.
Or could this be the Regal Crutch? Nope, I think it might be the...
It does look like he's going for the surfboard again, Ross. Now, that is unusual. He didn't get the win with it earlier. Perhaps he thinks he can get something with it this time, I don't know. But he's got Fukuda's arms again. It looks like he may just get the move once more.
But Fukuda's arms
escaped.
And very sportingly, Stevie Gray steps back and says, fair enough. That's a nice element to see, and a very British element there from Stevie Gray.
I think both men recognize each other's talents on the mat and don't want to show any kind of disrespect. There is no grudge in this match. There is no feud. There is no anger. This is just two wrestlers wrestling.
As
and I think it's a wonderful thing to see.
That's exactly correct, Kenny. As Fukuda applies, is that a reverse chin lock?
I think you'll find Stevie Gray is applying that reverse chin lock.
Sorry, I stand corrected. Stevie Gray applies the reverse chin lock. But Fukuda's leg gets the rope just as Fukuda gave up. If you just hear that, Fukuda said he gave up, but his leg was already on the rope. So the referee, Ted Tanabe, made Steve Gray break the hold.
Indeed. Steve Gray now with an Irish whip. Goes with a headbutt to Fukuda's lower abdomen.
Abdominal area.
Goes now with a double leg takedown.
A pinning combination. Only a 2 count
slips
there.
Out the back door again. Stevie Gray, I'm surprised, Ross. He's had most of the offense in this match so far.
That's right, but don't be fooled. These Japanese competitors can pull a victory out the back door any second. That's how they train them in Japan. They train them in the dojos, and they're one of the best wrestlers, if not the best wrestlers on the planet, can be found in Japan.
That's exactly right, Ross. These guys are as well schooled in every form of pinning.
This is a neck breaker.
Oh! It's a maneuver popularized in America by Rick Rude, but Stevie Gray using it right here in Walthamstow to great effect.
Gets about a 1 count there.
Not getting a pinfall out of it, no.
Goes for another neck breaker. Or is he going for a hangman?
He's going for a hangman here, Ross, which is a brutal submission hold. No.
But he
no,
gives up. I
neck
think he may have been going for a hangman there, but he gave up and went for the neck breaker instead.
And
the hangman, of course, is a brutal move.
Yeah, it really does a great deal of damage to those vertebrae in the neck, Ross. It's a horrible move to suffer. And that neck breaker is often a very good setup for that maneuver.
And there's a suplex from Fukuda. So Fukuda's right back in the offensive with a suplex again, a 2 count. The crowd very respectful still of this bout.
Slips out the suplex into a roll-up, reverse roll-up.
2 count.
Only a 2 count.
About a 2.5 count, I'd hasten to add. Stevie Gray sends Fukuda off the ropes and heads for a drop
with
kick.
a drop kick. Not something we see from some of the older wrestlers in the sport much, but Stevie Gray proving there's still life in the old dog yet. Stevie now with a whip off the ropes.
He's
going
caught
for a crossbody, but it's a slam. 2 and 3.
Well, that is a surprise victory there. I can only presume he's maybe came down badly on his shoulder.
Well, he seems to have got up quite quickly there, Ross. I think perhaps he was just winded, just surprised by the move, and there he's lost the match. That's very unfortunate for Stevie Gray after having so much of the offense tonight.